This episode is specifically for those of you who want to start your first YouTube video but don't know how to start. And the first time you make a script, you try to put together a video, it can be intimidating. And so this episode is for you. For those of you who've already put together a video and are comfortable with it, well, they'll just come along for the ride. It'll be fun to have you. A good place to start is to consider what style video you want to do. And of course, there are as many styles as there are content creators. I'm going to go over a basic handful, but if you want to see the vast variety of styles out there, just go to your YouTube channel and take a look at the channels that come up in your feed. You want to go even beyond that? Well, then go into incognito mode or private mode, whatever it is, so the algorithm doesn't take into account your search history, and take a look at all the accounts that it puts in front of you because it doesn't know what you want, and you're going to be seeing a lot of different styles. So that would be fun research. As far as your style to start off with, these are the basic ones that I would recommend for you. The first is no voice, no face. What you're going to do is you're going to write a story, a narrative or script or something to describe what's going on in the video, and then take video, landscape mode of something that you're doing, whether it be putting together a cage, putting together a meal. And what you can do is you can overlay the text onto the video. And so you have a simple video of you doing something from your perspective. So you're not even on it. And you're going to put the text below that video. So essentially you're going to narrate a video, but you don't have to do it with your voice. You just write it down. We can call this visual storytelling. And for those of you who aren't confident with your presence on the camera or even your voice on the camera, this is a good first step. Don't get too aggressive with your first video. Make it just 2 to 3 minutes long. Doing a short video, you say, well, why don't I just make it a short? You could, but our purpose here is to learn how to do long form video. And so just start off with a 2 to 3 minute video where you're writing the narration on the bottom of the video screen. Now, a common thing to do for visual storytelling is you have music in the background. And this is simple stock footage that you can get from a number of different services. You got to make sure that whatever you use, you are licensed to use and you don't run into copyright. And that's a whole ball of wax we're going to have to get into a little bit later. But in the next video, I'm going to be going over equipment, and royalty-free music is part of that. The next step up is voiceover. Voiceover is pretty much the same thing as visual storytelling, except you're going to narrate it with your voice. Now you can still have the captions on the screen, but now you're making a connection with your viewer by your voice. Now, if you're comfortable at this point with putting your face on camera, you can do the talking head video. This is a talking head video. I'm sitting here, I'm talking to the camera, and you all can hear me and see me. This is a great way to connect with your audience. Although admittedly, it is a little intimidating if you look at the camera and you freeze up. And that is why you go through the steps before. You start with visual storytelling, move up to voiceover, and then get to talking head. Because you don't want to wait to start your YouTube journey until you're comfortable being on camera and talking to the camera. That is just way too long. Now, once you get to this point, you have some other options. One option is to do an interview, and that's where you have a guest come on and you talk back and forth. So instead of narrating a video or teaching like I'm doing here, you're doing an interview. You're talking back and forth. And if you want to take it a challenge higher, go for a live session. And that can be solo or it can be with an interviewee, but you are live and you're interacting with the audience through the chat. This requires a bit of stand-up skills. You need to be able to keep the action going, even if there's nobody talking in the chat. Remember, you're on stage and you got to pretend like there's a huge audience there, just in case somebody walks in and says, should I be here? And you want to make them feel like there's something going on. Now, you might be nervous to say, no, I've got to read this chat and interact with the chat. And I will tell you, that's actually what you want. That makes it easy because now you have a catalyst for what you're going to say. Just looking at the camera and speaking for an entire hour, that's a skill and that's a challenge. And I know because I've done it, and it's exhausting when you have to do it. That's how it started for me. But luckily, lives are getting more and more common. And so if you just go to any account and you hit the live button, you are sure to have somebody come on by. Of course, it's good practice, but it also is an official video in YouTube's eyes. It will go on your account, and any views after the live session go towards your monetization. I think live sessions are great because it forces you to think on your feet and talk without thinking. I know that gets some people in trouble, gets me in trouble, but to be able to do that is a great skill. At least have the option to be able to do it. So going through these styles, pick one that's comfortable for you and then start creating. The more you create, the more confidence you'll get, the more you'll grow, and the more you can graduate and choose between all those different styles. Remember, you don't have to go to the talking head style. There are people whose entire channels are successful and they're at visual storytelling. Each one of these is an art in itself. Pick one you love and excel at it. All right, it's time for our halftime. Let's check in and see what Yvette is up to now. All right, I am back here with Yvette from Misty Mountain Fans. And as we all know, she launched her first video last weekend. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Now, let's talk about the equipment you used, because everybody, when they're starting off, they're wondering, what equipment can I use? And I know I have a lot of equipment, but we didn't use my equipment.
No, we started off simply, very humble beginnings. I used my iPhone and I used my iPad.
You recorded with your iPhone and you did the voiceover
on my iPad.
On your iPad using the CapCut.
The CapCut app program. Yeah. Yes.
All right. How was using your iPhone?
It was good. I loved it. Just the video and pictures. Yeah. It's perfect. Great. It's great quality.
I tell you, use your smartphone.
You could use it for everything.
You really don't need to upgrade from a smartphone. Those cameras are so good.
Yeah. And then my iPad, I put the CapCut app on that, or program, and I used that. And I found that I used was it audio recording, the voiceover recording?
You did. There's a
found that very simple to use. Again, I'm very new to it, so it makes a beginner. I think it's very beginner friendly, but I need to delve into that more to learn. And I'm also interested. Well, anyway, that's what I used. Those two things are what I used.
And how easy was it to use that program?
Well, once you get to know it, I think it's pretty simple.
All right. And we may attempt to get DaVinci Resolve on her laptop.
Yes.
Because the iPad editing can get a little claustrophobic.
Yeah, it was slow. I noticed there was some timing situations.
Yep. Sometimes it's not as powerful as a laptop. So, all right. So going forward for your next video, what equipment do you plan on using?
I'm still going to use my iPhone, maybe a little bit of my iPad. I don't know. I still want to kind of see what I can do on that. And I'm going to use my laptop. Okay.
And do you know yet if you're going to be doing a talking head? Are you going to show yourself on this video?
To be determined. Okay. But I hope to have a little bit of me on every video, because I think it's important for people to know who I am. As much as it frightens me right now, it's a very important thing. And then I can see my progress too. So that I'm looking forward to.
All right. So thank you very much for that update.
You're welcome.
And we're going to see how this goes. But no, we're going to be back tomorrow and we're going to be doing more talking about the process of making that second video.
Okay, great.
All right.
See you then.
See you around. Welcome back. We've talked about types of videos that you can do. And now we're going to be talking about video formats. And there's a lot of them, but that means that there's a lot for you to choose from. And instead of trying to describe what I'm talking about, I'm just going to go straight into it and saying, these are the different type of videos you can make. And really, they're in no particular order because which one is easy, which one is hard, it just depends on your personality and what you want to do. First one I want to talk about is a vlog. And this is a presentation of what you're doing in your life. Casey Neistat is a famous YouTube vlogger that did a vlog every day. And he did it for hundreds of days. That was his thing. Now, you don't have to do it every day. You can do it every week, whatever frequency works for you. But a vlog is great because you're just recording what you're doing. This is effective if you are living the topic. Like for me, I did a daily vlog for 52 days about chameleon keeping, which I could do because that's what I do day in, day out. I mean, when I'm not making videos like this. So I just recorded what I was doing. Now, it's a lot to bite off to do it every day. I can tell you, I love doing daily videos, but it's a lot of work. I don't recommend it unless you really know what you are doing or are a little bit crazy. Yvette was so glad when I was done with that, and well, here I am doing it again. The next is a how-to. This is where you're doing a tutorial. If you put together a certain meal, or you're putting together a certain cage, or just something that somebody may be wondering, how do I do this? Then do a tutorial video on how to do something. Educational is where you're explaining concepts. This video here would be called an educational video. It's an educational talking head video. I am presenting concepts. I'm trying to lead you through a tutorial. And if I wanted to do more visual elements, I would have what's called B-roll, which is just video in the background of me talking. You'll notice a lot of educational videos will just have B-roll in there just to provide a visual stimulation, and it really doesn't add to the value of the education. But this is YouTube, and that's what we do. You can do entertainment, storytelling, skits, and you see this a lot, especially with the short form video. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You're performing for the camera to do some sort of skit and get people laughing, crying, whatever. You can try a top 10 list or top 5, top whatever list. Human beings like lists. And so if you can come up with a top X number of list of top 10 foods that a tortoise will eat, then human brains latch onto that. They really like that. And no matter what your interest is, you can find a top 10 something or top 5 if you don't want to have a top 10. Sometimes 10 is too much. You can do top 5. You can do top 3. And especially at this point, just pick one and go with it. There are reaction videos, and this is where you bring on somebody else's video and you do a live reaction to the video. Now, admittedly, I haven't done one of these yet, but they are pretty popular and it's an option for you. And finally, there's a live stream. And this is one of the easiest as well as one of the hardest things to do. It's easy because you don't necessarily have to have any prior preparation. You can just hit the live button and go on and say, hey, hi, everybody, and do an hour of live if you are good at speaking to the camera. It is hard because you have to speak to the camera and you may have to do it when there's nobody there giving you any energy or catalyst to work off of. But there are a number of channels that are simply live shows. It could be a solo, like me talking to you, or it could be interview. These are all possibilities for you. It is by no means an exhaustive list. You just pick whichever one is comfortable for you, and you can try out different formats to see what resonates. Your homework for tonight is to explore YouTube, explore the different styles that are out there, recognize what they are doing and which of these elements they are using, and at the end of it, figure out what resonates with you. What do you want to try? No commitment to anything. Just try it for one video and you'll know if you like it or not. All right, that's it for today, and I'll see you next episode.